Hello, namaste, welcome back to Bhagavatam for Rationalists. My name is Kamalakar Gulukota, and in this episode, episode 39, we are going to meet Rukmini, who was Krishna's first wife. So, now that they're safe on the west coast on Dwarka, it was time for Krishna and Balarama to get married. Um, there is not much to say about Balarama's wedding. It was a simple occasion. He made an alliance with the king Raivata, and his daughter was Revati, and Balarama was married to Revati. And as has been the case throughout their lives, Krishna's wedding was harder. Everything was, more difficult and more dramatic for Krishna. So, in the case of wedding, what happened was that Rukmini was the daughter of King Bhishmaka of the Vidarbha kingdom. And it is said that she was an avatar of Lakshmi herself, Lakshmi, the consort of Vishnu. And Rukmini had five brothers, the eldest of whom was called Rukmi, Bhishmaka's eldest son. So Rukmini had heard about all the adventures and the various things that Krishna had done, and just on the basis of that fame, she fell in love with him. And she wanted to marry him. But this being a political family, there was a political alliance that made more sense. Rukmini's brother, was friends with Shishupala, who was the king of the Chedi kingdom. And Rukmi decides that an alliance with Shishupala and Chedi will provide great political gain, and therefore he wants his sister Rukmini to marry Shishupala. Now, of course, Rukmini's opinion was not even sought in this, let alone, somehow giving her a debate and the pros and cons of, this political alliance and so on. In this patriarchal society, Rukmini wasn't even asked if she is okay with this. The marriage was decided and everything was going forward. Of course, Rukmini did not want to go forward with this arranged marriage, and so she decides to elope. She decides to run away to her love, and namely Krishna. So she seeks out an old Brahmin whose name was Agni Dyotana, and she sends a love letter to Krishna through him. And Agnidyotana dutifully follows through. He reaches Dwaraka, meets with Krishna, and gives him the message. And here is that love letter. శ్రీయుతమూర్తియో పురుషసింహమ సింహము పాలి సొమ్ము గోమాయువు గోరు చందమున మత్తుడు చైద్యుడు నీ పదాంబుజధ్యాయిని అయిన నన్ను వడిదాగొనిపోయెదనంచునున్నవాడా అధమాధముండెరుగడు అద్భుతమైన భవత్ప్రతాపమున్. She's telling him, O consort of Lakshmi, O lion among men, sometimes a hyena wants to steal a lion's food. Shishupala, that crazy king of Chedi, is like that. He has eyes on me, even though I belong entirely to you. I constantly think of you, and I have submitted myself to you. In my mind, I am already married to you. But that worst among men, Shishupala, is unaware of your amazing valor, and he is looking to take me away. Well, that's the problem. But Rukmini doesn't just present the problem, she also presents a solution. She says, on the day before the wedding, I am supposed to go to this Durga temple outside a town, outside of Vidarbha. Um, so I'll be there praying, and it'll be a good time for you to rescue me from there and perform Rakshasa Vivaham. Rakshasa Vivaham is something that was common in those days, where, especially with, political alliances like this and arranged marriages like this. So the bride and groom meet up somewhere and they decide, okay, we're married. The families from both sides are not involved at all, and that's called a Rakshasa Vivaham. So Rukmini tells Krishna, please take me in Rakshasa Vivaham right there from the temple, because I accept, and if you accept, you can take me. Now, at this point, Rukmini decides maybe I'm being too forward because she hasn't asked Krishna. if he loves her, if he wants her or not. She's just saying, I love you, I want you, and this is how you can get me. So in the end, she is worried a little bit about that. And so she tells him, if you're not interested, just let me know through the same Brahmin, and I'll take care of myself. I'll somehow remain unmarried for the rest of this life. Of course, Krishna is smitten by that kind of courage and bravery for a woman to come forward. He completely accepts because Agni Dyotana, the Brahmin, of course, had told Krishna about Rukmini, about her beauty, and about her great character. So Krishna accepts the proposal and sends Agni Dyotana back with the message saying, go tell Rukmini that I accept, that I will follow through on the proposal that she has came by. And so Krishna goes to Vidarbha on a single chariot, just himself alone, to go and pick up Rukmini. Now, Balarama hears about this and he knows that there is going to be trouble. So he collects up some troops and he also follows behind Krishna, some distance behind. So, naturally, the day before this proposed wedding to Shishupala, Rukmini is there at the Durga temple and she prays to Uma, who's there, that is Katyayani or Durga. She says, Nammiti namanambuna sanatanulaina yuma maheshulan మిమ్ము పురాణ దంపతుల మేలు భజింతు గదమ్మ మేటి పెద్దమ్మ దయాంబురాశివి గదమ్మ హరింబతి జేయుమమ్మ నిన్నమ్మిన వారికెన్నడును నాశము లేదు గదమ్మ ఈశ్వరి. So she is praying to Durga and she says, I believe in my heart the ancient gods Uma and Shiva. So these are the ancient gods. They have been considered gods for people for as far back as we can remember. So calling them ancient gods makes sense. And now Rukmini tells Uma or, Katyayani or Durga, oh mother, I pray to you. You are the first couple of the whole world. You're a great mother. You're an ocean of mercy. Please make Vishnu my husband. People who believe in you too are never ruined. You are the consort of Shiva. So, of course, her prayer succeeds because, as planned, Krishna is outside waiting for her by himself, the one, solitary Krishna on a solitary chariot. So, Rukmini then gets on his chariot and she says bye bye to all her relatives, and they are looking at her. And because some of them actually know what's in her heart, they are pretty happy and they're clapping and they're saying bye bye, hope you have a good life, and so forth. So Rukmini boards the chariot and drives away with Krishna. But of course, that's not the end because you have all these other warriors who are also there. They have come they were invited to the wedding of Shishupala and Rukmini, and they're there. And when they see this, they consider this an abduction, a kidnapping, and they are very furious about it. And among them are warriors like Jarasandha, whom we've already met, Shishupala, who is, of course, the groom, Dantavaktra, remember that name also because we'll meet Dantavaktra again. There was Salva and Viduraka and Poundraka Vasudeva and so forth. So they all come forward and try to stop Krishna and Rukmini. But as I said, Balarama was already there with his troops. So Balarama engages in fight with them and holds all these warriors back to give the couple time to run away and go back to Dwaraka. Somehow, Rukmi gets through this and gives chase to Krishna and Rukmini. But Krishna is, because he's only one, Krishna is enough. He fights with Rukmi and tells him, your sister is no, she's not going back to that wedding. She loves me. She's going to marry me. So Rukmi is defeated by Krishna and is sent back, whereas Krishna and Rukmini go forward and go to Dwarka. And that's how Krishna weds Rukmini. Um, as you can see in this picture, you have the priests and various ladies of the palace that are there at the wedding between Krishna and Rukmini. So after that, the people of Dwarka are very happy looking at Krishna and Rukmini because obviously they are Vishnu and Lakshmi, is what people think. And therefore, Shuka is explaining to Parikshit. Anagha Adilakshmi aina Rukminitod Krida Salupuchunna Krishnu Juchi ఆ పట్టణంబులోని ప్రజలుల్లసిల్లిరి ప్రీతులగుచు ముక్తభీతులగుచు. O sinless one, O Emperor Parikshit, the people of the town of Dwarka were happy to see Krishna and Rukmini playing with each other because Rukmini was the original Lakshmi, the Adi Lakshmi. So they rejoiced, the people rejoiced with love and became free of fear. So this was the first marriage that Krishna had to Rukmini, but of course, he has had many other wives in the future of his life. We will cover that in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for your attention so far.